So what's up, fellas?
Another day, another dollar.
Same old, same old.
Yeah,
Life, bro. Life, that's what's up.
you're right. So today we gonna, just a little educational purposes, talk about some of the stuff that we do to do our mental health. Mental health is important nowadays, and a lot of people don't realize that men actually don't, you know, talk about their problems. So, what's some of the tactics y'all use to get through the day if you're not feeling it?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I heard this and I actually do this too. It's the Yoda, I forget his name. It's called him Yoda's Indian guy. He was like, yo, when you having a bad day and things get rough, he said just go to sleep. He said take a nap. And
Take a nap.
no, it's real though. I do that and it works. Take a nap, yo, when you overload your mind. So yeah, I take me a nap, man.
What if you
Taking
can't
a
take a
nap.
nap? You got too much stuff to do. You can't take a nap.
Now we're talking a whole different story.
Yeah,
That's something different right there.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I don't know. I kind of, it's sad to say, man. I kind of just try my best to make it through the moment that I'm dealing with until I'm able to take a nap.
Yeah.
so, so that's just that's the way to do it. Um, as always as a man, you already know it's gonna be hard to find people to talk to when it comes to your personal issues. Most people thinks about themselves for the most part. So that's one thing, and then the ones that some people can listen. Um, I think another thing is that sometimes when we talk or we looking to maybe share what the issue may be, we kind of look for a response, and everybody's not capable of responding to some of the things you go through. And I think that's one of the things that makes it more difficult for you. Um, because sometimes the purpose of you even trying to communicate what you dealing with on the inside because you're looking for a way out, and you pretty much ain't found one yourself within that moment. If you had one, then what was bothering you may not bother you, and talking to people sometimes if you got the right people aligned or maybe just other people that have thoughts and willing to share what you can possibly help you find what you need to get through your moments. um so, and I think that's why I honestly think that's why most men, if they do talk, that's part of the reason why they talk. But for the most part, why a lot of men don't talk because they don't ever feel like the issues get solved unless they solve it themselves. So mm,
I feel you 100 on that. And it's like, you spend years being the rock and then you realize rocks don't move, but they definitely crack. And,
yeah,
I think society just, they expect us to be one way and we got to try to figure out everything. And that gets to a point where sometimes it's like, get to a point where it's like too much. You would just want to, explode, but then you can't. You got to keep your composure.
yeah,
that's
because
true.
you don't want to. People don't want to see you in that light. So I use the analogy as when I talk to my therapist. They ask me, "What do you say about yourself?" I said, "Everybody see the armor, but they don't see the brakes in the back." So when I
Mhm.
approach and go and walk in the room, you see that I gotta be flawless, but deep down inside, it's all about I got cracks. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
Right.
you'll never see my back. You will always see the front.
Yeah.
So, like I said, normally times what I do to cope, man, I normally be like, let me hit this gym. Let me work my frustration out in the gym. Or let me go on a walk or something just to clear my mind. But sometimes
Yeah.
those them taxes don't help either. Sometimes it just get to a point where you're like, man, why is everything just stacking up on me? Yeah,
Right.
man, it's just
I'm telling you, man, take a nap.
sometimes I can't. Your brain be moving so much, man. It's like napping, I just can't even take a nap throughout the day. Like even
Yeah.
No,
at night,
that's true.
my mind just be running. So it's just, I mean, I think I need. And most of the time, I try to hit the problem head on, just so I can stop thinking about it, or I figure out something to occupy my time.
Yeah, those tactics, and those tactics do work. Uh, to tell the truth, I think a lot of that, the one of the main things is growing up, and what we don't realize is a lot of men don't really share anything because you was raised to be a man, and um, you got to just deal with things. It's just life, you know. I remember even a little small thing my mom told me when I was young. Um, he said you may go through something, but never let nobody see you sweat.
Yeah.
So and it's like it's one of those things. Now, and that's just something for my moms. Besides, like the uncles, dad, and all of that stuff, they be the person tell you, like it's men go through things, and we just deal with it. But that was their time. Even in our time, we dealt with some of that. But I think as time going on, especially with the internet, I think men starting to find more spaces to open up and stuff like that, to where they can maybe put some of those issues and things that they feeling on the table and be able to talk to other men about. So that's a plus, And this, shoot, man, the suicide rate for men is up there, from just going through stuff. Like people do stuff, man, to the can't take it, and you go hang yourself or something, or jump off a bridge or something. Those
Mm-hmm.
been going through,
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
man.
it's kind of crazy that only 7% of men engage in talk therapy, and it comes from that tough it out culture that we keep on hearing. They have little sayings. Everybody got their own little sayings. Don't ever see you weak. You don't ever see you all of this. So you always gotta you grow up from a small age all the way up into manhood, and this is what your rocking your foundation is. Because if you seen as weak, that's what they're gonna call you, weak. You are incapable or something like that. Just if you show a little smidge of weakness. So, and then you got to go back and try to prove yourself and do something crazy, to say I'm a man,
Right,
and
right.
it's kind of crazy that 32% of work and 31% of finances are the two top drivers for the stress for men. And we kind of don't have a really out unless we go to the barber shop, we go hang out with our boys and shit, and that's where we let the guard down a little. But we automatically know there are other people that we hang around, especially from the opposite sex, that you cannot be weak in front of at all, because they're going to exploit that to the fullest. And I'm pretty sure everybody has those kind of stories. So
This is true.
I
yeah,
mean, sometimes you don't even want to be weak in front of your boys because you've been that tough friend for so long. It's like, bro, I can't let this dude. They look up to me, so I just can't. I can't talk to them like I want to talk to them.
mm,
So like a lot of people talk to strangers, man. So it's living it.
That's because it doesn't come with a manual and don't tell you exactly what to do. How it's all about figuring it all out.
hmm
So I think for some people, if you know exactly the direction to go in and what exactly to do, may help you a little bit. That's why you got those, like, you don't really see too big issues out of most people that already know how to figure it out. And here's another thing. I was told too, when we go through, like, when you're going through like a mental health issues, you ain't your thoughts. Sometimes we get in our heads, and the things we're going through is just because we're thinking it. You get what I'm saying? But
yeah,
you're not your thoughts. And that's one of the reasons. Not stating the fact of that you do go through things and that stuff happen. But a lot of the times is not as big as your mind allowing it to believe it is, sometimes. And I think that's one of the things too that we deal with, that we think that we going through something that is really not going through it like that, you know.
yeah,
Um, and it's just the way you look at things. Sometimes you feel like you don't have an out to something, and you do. You may have an out to something that you haven't thought of yet, and sometimes that be the case too. So you got to put that in perspective too. Sometimes you do go through some real stuff that's like that. It's really some real things you have to deal with, um, that maybe you can't find out of. But that's when they tell you, you only can control what you can control. You shouldn't let the things that you can't control break you. In so many words. But that's just the thing, though. That's something that you would tell a man. you know.
yeah, facts.
So
Yeah. say you got to be a man, and I'm kind of glad now that more men is coming out to talk because, like I said, keeping that stuff built up, this will make you resent a lot of things in life, man. So, and you just look at it differently, and walking around angry all the time, that's not right, man. Like people just know that you just going through some stuff because you walk around mad, and your vibe be so off, and people just don't want to be around you. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that we just out here advocating for ourselves now and actually able to get it out, tell people what we don't, what we do want to do, and look, man, it's just the way it is now. So
Yeah, because we're not taking it anymore. It's like I think we kind of figured out it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of a vibe. So
yeah,
it's
Yeah,
like
it is.
you start really thinking about what's gonna make me happy. Then you out there living your best life. Just being happy. And then everybody try to come like, oh well, you shouldn't be out there doing that. And it's like if it make me happy, then leave me alone.
It's
yeah,
a fact.
If I want to fish, let me fish. If I want to fish from sun up to sundown in the rain, let me be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And these
Because
things, people do these
yeah,
things.
once solo dolo, and then you in your mind and your thought. Sometimes you get clarity from that.
Yep.
yeah,
You get clarity from it. Then you're like, okay, now I can breathe. Now I got a plan ahead, or that was the thing that you needed. You needed a breather. But it's so hard to think about a breather because it's kind of like if you go on a vacation from work and then you come back from work, you already know you're going to have like hundreds of emails and stuff. It's pretty much the same with us on the opposite side. Like I got so much stuff to deal with whenever I get back to get everything back on the straight path that that works.
yeah.
Yep.
So let me enjoy life until I have to come back and deal with the same
Right.
bull crap I had to get away from.
Yeah, and then you got to figure that out too. So um, throughout time, we always been able to handle a lot of stuff. No matter what. So I think we are capable, but I think it's just a lot more pressures are getting a little bit more tedious now. Everything's supposed to be getting easier, but it definitely don't feel like it.
Hmm.
Nah, because as you keep getting older and more pressure, and I mean, you got bigger families now. And you just got a lot of stuff you got to take care of, and people don't realize like that's stressful, man. Especially sometimes you don't want to deal with your boss if you're even working.
Yep.
Yep.
It's like, bro, I'm done with this crap, man. I don't want to do
Yeah.
this no more. Like,
Yeah.
let me go sit on an island somewhere and don't bother me. And people
Yeah.
get mad when you don't answer your phone. It's like,
Yeah.
I need a break. Like, literally, you need a break. Leave me
No,
alone.
no, no. No. You get a break. What is that? No, man.
Hmm.
We can't let that ride.
Like, let me
You
take a
can't let that ride.
vacation and be in peace. Let me have a Mai Tai on the beach somewhere when I don't hear
Ooh.
nothing. No phone
No,
calls, no emails, just the ocean. Just let me relax for once.
no. You having all of that fun? You having all of that? No, we can't do that.
Yeah, man. Because people
Yeah.
swear you got to be on at all times, man. I hate that. Hate that
Mm-hmm.
feeling, man. I hate have to be at my best at all times. Like I just can't stand it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man.
Like sometimes I just want to
It's
chill.
impossible, man. It's impossible to be your best at all times.
But that's what they
You
expect you to
human.
do,
You
though.
human. You human. Everybody had those breaking points and them breaking moments from going through different things. It's something we all deal with. Um,
Yeah.
but the thing is just when it comes to men, it's just more to where it's not like a recognized thing to uh, for people to say like, oh, men go through stuff too. It's like, nah, yeah, man, he fine. I think people think like like men supposed to be like robots or something like that. Like we don't have feelings or something and go through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, but how many people actually call a person? So like, I know I started doing that stuff because sometimes I forget too. But I call
yeah,
people and be like, "Hey man, you good?" Just because I haven't heard from you in a minute, or
Yeah.
yeah,
I know you dealing with some stuff. You just don't talk about it, and it's like, when do we take accountability and checking on our friends and stuff? Because some
Eh,
people
yeah,
yeah.
don't.
yeah,
Like you really don't. Like I really, since I've retired, right? from the military. I'm glad my phone don't ring no more. But at the same time, it's like if I can call, my old soldiers or something and be like, "Hey, how are you doing today?" You know, you can do
Hmm.
the same shit to me. Just because I outrank you and I'm retired doesn't mean I'm okay. You never know.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's just how many people do we actually reach out and be like, "Hey, man, I'm just calling to check on you just to see how you doing." I ain't talked to you in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is actually getting that response out of them that maybe it is dealing with something too. So this is the thing why we say like, what do you do when you going through emotional turmoil? So that is a good question, because like I said, most people just deal with it internally. We don't really, a lot of people don't really even state that they have something going on.
Yeah,
To be honest with you, heck, I'm one of them, so I know all about that. I talk about what I deal with, like it's a rare thing for me, to do that. So,
Hmm.
um, but I think that's because I've been so accustomed to just dealing with everything internally, for majority of my life, and I think I just kind of got stuck there. Um, and believe me when I say I really do take naps.
Oh, we believe it. You let off with that.
we know.
I would just let y'all know. Just hit
Yeah.
that there. Like if it becomes overwhelming, I'm taking a nap. Like
Yeah.
that's just what it is. I
Yeah.
take a nap, get a take a nap, let my brain rest for a little while. Sometimes I can gain some clarity just from taking a nap. So yeah, so
Right.
and I deal with things that way, and then I'll be like, well, if I can't control it, then hey, what I'm supposed to do? But it's kind of you kind of train yourself for that. Um, kind of train yourself to be that way. I don't. That's just not something I think people just do naturally. Because for the most part, most people when you go through something and you can't figure it out, it's stressful. So and you react off of off of that stress of it. Um, so it's a training thing, like I said, and it's a mind thing. That's part of where I state that some of it is just a mind thing, because you teach yourself, like all right, these are certain things that I cannot control. There's nothing I can do about some of these things, and how do I get past it? Because you can't. Just about everything you can get past. It's just you have to figure out ways. You just have to actually figure it out, and that's the thing. Figuring it out is the hard part. So,
Yeah. And
um,
that's what we don't know. Like in 2026, we got a loneliness pandemic because over 60% of men from 18 to 35 report feeling socially isolated or having no close friends that they can talk about real issues with. And then, the data shows that we are like three times more likely to report feeling villainized by mainstream media or social narratives compared to 2020. And that's because everywhere that you turn, it's a man. I mean, they had something where they was like, "Would you pick a bear or a man?" I mean, they were picking the bear in droves. So I think about it as a whole, of how this look, and then I see now that men make up less than 40% of college students, and for the first time, these young men are likely to live with their parents than a partner, leading to a massive purpose gaps. We see
mhm.
it all the time where the chicks are out here like they slaying, they the big bosses and all of this stuff, and where they said leave men eventually. So I don't know. I think it's kind of a scary thing to look at because women will always say that they're out here with their PhDs and all of this stuff, but they're looking for a man to be the provider, the protector, and all of that stuff. And if men are we are less likely going to college now, and I'm trying to figure out, are we less likely going to college now because we see it as a joke, as a financial stuff, and this is what they're talking about in college, and it's always going up right now. So we're always logical. Men are logical, females are emotional. So the logical standpoint is like, why should I spend all of this money going into debt where I could try to figure out a hustle? But figuring out a hustle at a young age is very hard. And then they say men don't pretty much mature until they're like 35 to where they're really comfortable and be able to take care of a family. That's a long time to be holding the weight of the world on your shoulders, bro. And I
Yeah,
often think about these stats and see it's not that men are falling behind because men going to be just like, you know what, I'm going to take a nap, I'm out. That's
Yep.
it. So that's what it is. And once I look at the hard numbers, and then I was like, we got a real problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
But you'd be
That we
amazed on
definitely
how
do.
many people you actually do call and be like, man, what's up, man? How you been doing?
Yeah, yeah. And
And they
even
just
that's
they go out and even though you have someone that some people that be like, well, I don't want to talk about nothing. Eventually, they just start talking
Yeah, they do. That's
yeah,
true.
out of nowhere.
That's true
And
too.
it ain't like you crying or nothing. I'm just calling to see what's up, man.
yeah, yeah.
Want to go have a drink? And they be like, nah, I'm good. Well, but this is this and this is got going on. I got this going on. I mean, they let it out.
Right.
It's just taking that
That's true.
long effort to even do it though. And just like I was talking to one of my homegirls, and I'm like, how often do you check on your husband?
Mm.
You know, and she was like, "What I need to check on him for?
Uh.
He check on you.
Mm.
He call and
Make sure
ask
you
you,
straight.
are you good? How was your day? Why
Yeah.
you can't do the same?"
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's that mind frame of he's a man, so he's strong. He can do all that, and yeah, and I get that. That's yeah, that should be most of the time it probably is the case, but being emotional, like going through emotional things is not really about the case of just being strong. I mean, yeah, it is. Not going through emotional thing, but maybe going through something that you maybe can't figure out sometimes can be an issue, and you just never know if that person you deal with may have something going on with it you can't figure out because that's really what it is. That's really what it comes from, just not being able to figure out whatever the situation you may be going through, and that sometimes can be stressful. Um, and it could be childhood trauma. It could be several different things, work things and maybe something that, it could be a lack of confidence thing, which, it's different things that can maybe make you go through something or make go through something that can tear you apart, So it's
But
good to
you,
ask those questions just to see what just to see the responses sometimes, just to see what someone says they maybe going through or whatever.
but we
So
got
it's
this
good to
thing.
ask them.
Society got this thing that men need to be a provider, security, a teacher,
Yep.
a a therapist. Pretty much, you got to do everything. You have to be everything, a carpenter, a mechanic, everything to make sure your family, your significant other, your wife, or everything is good, right?
Hmm.
But who is that man therapist? If you don't talk to your boys, who do you talk to? Because your significant other wants you to be their punching bag, pretty much. They want to you. They want to tell you everything that's going on in their life, and they really don't listen to you.
Yeah.
So who do you turn to? If you gotta be, if these, you gotta wear all these hats to make sure your family good and make sure you're good. Who check on you, man?
Yeah, it's good to have good men around you, man, where you can have somebody to, you know, let your hair down and talk to.
But
One
then
of the
we're not even
biggest things
taught to
to
do
do.
that. Like, how do you do that? You grasp the courage to do it because you've been living in silence for so freaking long. And like, okay, this is what I'm used to doing. I think that's part of the problem too. Like opting out, reaching out to your support network. Like, I think everybody knows who their support network is, but it's just something in that brain that just be like, no,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they'd be like, I don't want them to look at me differently.
yeah. I don't want to
hmm
look weak. That's the thing.
I don't want
yeah,
to look weak at all.
Yeah, you don't
yeah,
want to look weak, and that's why most men keep things to themselves.
hmm
Society don't make it easy for you though. That's for sure. It
But you
definitely
just
don't.
make yourself old by keeping everything in, man.
Yeah,
You
you
just
do,
beating
man.
yourself down, your soul, beating your body down. It's just
yeah,
like,
So,
and that's why most men, most men die at an early age because of the pressure, and they're not able to take care of themselves, and mental, once your mental go bad, your body go bad sometimes too.
Yeah, there you go. And
So
it's like, that's where I get upset. Like, why the strong and silent act is actually a tactical failure. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a failure. You stress, some people, get the, take that route. And it's just kind of sad because I think everybody got something to offer, on the planet. I really do. But it just sometimes just you get overwhelmed. You feel like you're drowning.
yeah, because a lot of men probably sitting with hypertension don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have high blood pressure, probably don't even think about it because you just feel
Yep.
like, well, I got a headache,
I
and,
got to keep on
and
pushing it.
I got a headache, I got to keep pushing, and not
Mm-hmm.
knowing that it's probably your blood pressure is high,
Yeah.
causing that
Yeah.
headache and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, it's just you gotta take care of your mind, body, and soul, and it's just I think that's what we forget about that. We forget how to
Yep.
do it. We so busy
I know.
trying to take care of everybody else that we forget about can't take care of yourself.
So
Yeah.
how do
Well
y'all think we
put.
change it? How do y'all think we change it? As a whole, we start reaching out to other bros and keep it going. Like I don't like talking about a problem without a solution. That's just me. And I was like, what can we actually start doing at least in our own circle, and then the own circle, then it grows a little bit bigger and bigger. Because like I said, most of us we live in silence and we don't know how to reach out, but we have to know like, hey, that felt right. It didn't feel like it was an attack on me, so I would like to do this again and again and again and again. So I'm trying to figure out, how to what do y'all think is like the best way to like push it forward, or make it grow to where dudes don't have to feel like this anymore.
Truth be told, to start with yourself. That's for one. If you want to know the truth, I do get the fact that sometimes you may talk to people and it doesn't feel like some people may not care, but there's somebody in your circle that does.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you got to take the time to figure out who that is,
Mm-hmm.
because much as you want to talk and get things off your chest, it may be somebody in your circle that's willing to listen to you as you listen to
Yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is about not being afraid to figure out who that person is, and that's one of the most key things right there, because everybody has one. Um, then not and then also not being afraid to open up. You know, um, got to be able to open up too, and maybe get those things allow those things to get off your chest. So that's another thing too. So it's all about you to me. I don't think I don't think it's one of them things where you can't. It's one of them things. If will you, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
that's it really. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, like I feel like in our circle, reach out. I mean,
Yeah.
because a lot of people. I mean, we got a lot of people in our circle at the same time, but how many of us actually reach out to everybody and say, "Hey, man, what's going on? I ain't talked to you in a minute, or you haven't been texting in the group chat this long. What's going on?"
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and like sometimes I gotta be. Sometimes you have to look at that, be like, okay, maybe I don't see the chat. We don't. Sometimes we don't even know what this person at or this person could be traveling the world. We don't know because we don't reach out.
Mm-hmm.
True too.
So, like I say, we actually need to start reaching out, and then like that. Once you start reaching out, you start getting that repetition, and then that person probably in another group be like start reaching out, be like, yo, bro, what's going on? This blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, you just gotta take that effort. Is check on your strong friends regardless of
Yeah.
what's going on.
Mhm.
Because
Facts.
you check on the weak ones, you know the weakest link, and you check on them. But that one that's always strong, always happy go lucky, probably is the
Mm-hmm.
main one going through the main problems.
I know, and that should be like the collective vibe right now. Landing on the idea of like checking in is like a survival skill, not a weakness.
Yeah,
I really
Yeah.
do 100% believe that. Checking in, is a survival skill, not a weakness, bro. It's like, hey, this is what you need to do. Check in. Let us know if anything's going on. We're here to listen. And then some men, I know a lot of us joking stuff, but once we like stop here, like, hey, this is serious. Then we have a tendency that okay, this is serious. Lay it on
yeah,
me. because I think we do carry each other. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, we
Oh,
clown and joke all the day, every day, just to lighten up the mood. But at the end of the day, like you said, we know when to turn it on. We know when to turn it off, and
Right.
that's just us, getting to know each other. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So once
Mm-hmm.
you get to know each
sure.
other, you know if somebody off. But like I said,
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta be that person and reach out, because you
Yeah.
never know. Might be the one to call, be like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" And this person probably be like, "Yeah, I thank God you called me, because
Yeah.
I was really on the
Yeah.
edge." You know what I'm
Yeah.
Yep.
saying? So
Never know.
you never know.
Yeah. And that's big facts,
Never
bro.
know.
So
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%.
And I think the solution is discussing how to find a purpose outside of the noise, the gyms, the hobbies, the brotherhood, and actually take talking to professional when the suck can't be embraced anymore. Um, just like when the gym isn't enough, hobbies isn't enough, brotherhood isn't enough.
Mhm.
That's when you need to reach out to to a professional, because they can get you the help that you actually need. And I don't know why, I don't even know where that came from, where talking to a therapist was so taboo or weird. I don't know where that came from, but it's always been a thing until I got older. Then I was like, where did this come from? And nobody can say where it came from. Oh, you can't go because they think you crazy or you cuckoo for cocoa puffs. I don't understand it. I
yeah,
don't understand it.
Uh, way we was raised, man.
You think
Way we
so?
was, yeah, being raised is thinking it's the way men's supposed to be. So,
Uh-huh.
um, that's what I believe, man. That's what I honestly believe. I believe
can't
it
be
was where
strong
we
forever,
was raised
man.
from.
For real.
Yeah.
It really wears you down. Like you could, and like I said, you could see it in people's body language when they walking around. They be in constant pain. It's like when you happy and you know you happy, your body's happy. Like people could see your aura and your vibe if you're in a good mood. Like, but if you walking around in pain, you really not happy, man. And because you dealing with a lot, and it's not
Right.
just muscle pain or joint pain. It's actually your soul, your nerves, and it's just your whole body. Your body wears stress.
Yeah, and then you go to sleep with that freaking stress. You dream about the stress, and you wake up to the same stress all over again. So it's kind of like you're repeating the same thing over and over again. That is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I know I had that plenty of times, and it's just like, oh, this is the only thing that I gotta fix. I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this, and it doesn't get off my mind until it's fixed.
yeah,
But then all of that stress and all of that thought that I put to this one thing spanned over, maybe 2 or 3 weeks when it should have been like a few days.
yeah,
Yeah, yep.
Crazy work.
That's the real. Yeah, you sit in that joint, like you sit in
Hmm.
it, like you
Yep.
sit in all that frustration and shit like that when you don't know what to do with it. But most of the time, you're sitting in it because you can't figure it out.
Right.
Figure out how to get out of it. You get what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
the answer is somewhere. It's
It's somewhere.
somewhere.
That was my whole point. Like, it's somewhere. You're only going through it. Most of the time, you're going through all of that because you're so busy trying to figure out the answer. You
Right.
know, like you said, man, logical. You're going through something. The most logical thing is figure out how to fix it so you can stop going through it.
Right. Crazy
So
work, bro.
go through that.
Crazy work.
Yeah.
yeah. But sometimes you just a lot of times, like when I get stressed out about something, and I know I need to figure out, but I can't. Sometimes stepping away from it and just leave it alone, and the answer comes to you out of nowhere.
Yeah, good for the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like that always happened to me. Like I will walk away from it. I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone for a minute, because if I stay on this right here, it's gonna make me work. It's gonna stress me out some more. I'm gonna be mad. Because I can't figure it out. So let me walk away for a minute, and you just
Hmm.
Okay.
calm down. And then next thing you know, the instant like you just get that like, why did I not try this? And you go try it, and you like, that was the answer the whole time.
Shazam!
Yep.
Right there in your
That's
face,
the
but you
whole
see how much,
time.
you see how much the stress can like cloud you and just be like totally off. and
Yeah.
it's right there. It's just as simple. But once again, we the ones that think about all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
It has to get fixed. It has to get fixed.
yeah. And when you
But
got
that's in our DNA. That's in all of our DNAs. We want to be fixers. We want to be providers. We want to be protectors. And that's what I love. I'm glad that I'm on this planet right now as a dude, and I will not change it for anything in the world because I really do think that we do have a lot to offer the planet. I really do.
yeah.
If somebody's in trouble, they kind of like run to help, and we always want to help. Ultimately we want to help. We know the bad guys are out there still, but that's why some of us went into the service to protect, and that doesn't go anywhere. I mean, any dad wants to protect his family and will. I haven't met one that was like, what, F them. I haven't met one that, and I want to have them in my circle anyway. So
Yeah.
I think people with the same morals and values, they have a tendency to like come together as they should.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, you have like so. I know I was talking to one of our homies, and he said, you was the one that put us together, and I was like, I know like some people know what group would match with groups.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
like, cause y'all didn't know each other before, I'd be
that's
like,
right.
yeah, bro, let's go.
Yeah,
Let me put us
before our
together.
trips.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
a lot of things like you just learn people's vibes, man. To me, I just know like certain friend groups I know will mesh well with others, and it's just
yeah,
like you just have to learn that friend group. And like I said, sometimes it takes that one person that strong personality. Be like, yo, I know all of us will work together, so
yeah.
let's see how this run. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Even
And
though all y'all get on my damn nerves, but still.
and we're gonna continue. But you know what? We never beefed though. We
That's
never
what,
really beefed
that,
though.
that's what we're supposed to do.
Righteous.
That's what makes it a brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We never really
Ain't nothing
beefed
but
though.
love,
It was
bro.
all everything was all out of love. Just mutual respect, and that's what I can say is like totally different. And I salute all of y'all. And I was like, hey, anybody need anything? Call on me. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's a fact.
like I said, you always got that. I mean, we definitely, even if we do beef, we sit there and talk about it. Like, all
Yeah.
right, man, we get that shit off your chest right now, but we're gonna talk about this shit later.
That
Yeah.
ain't a beef, bro. That's a disagreement or just,
That's
going through
I
moments
agree.
of being brothers. That's it. So brothers
Yeah.
Hmm.
argue, man. Brothers fuss up with each other and stuff like that. That's not a beef.
No, I'm
It's
just
not.
Yeah.
saying.
That's not
I know
beef.
we having a disagreement in front of it, but like, all right, bro, you got it. We gonna talk about this shit later, but hey, you got
Yeah,
it right now.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
don't even feel like dealing with it right now.
Yeah.
Facts.
It's brother, that's brother stuff, man.
Hmm.
That's all.
And that's work right there. That's work right there. So I wish every male on the planet had a group like ours. And hopefully, with this channel and everything, we could just start bringing a whole bunch of people together to to create a community. Because right now, I feel like the whole planet is, against us, bro, and it's crazy to see every day.
Yeah, so much stuff
Uh-huh.
going on in this
Right.
world, man. Is like now you have to be on point at all times.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
like you can't even be like you can't even go nowhere and just be vibing because now you got to
Right.
be on alert like because they doing this, they doing that here and all that stuff. Like you just can't go somewhere and just have a good time.
It ain't
Just
the
be
same
Yeah,
anymore.
just be happy. Like
Nope.
yeah, man.
like
That's the
you
truth.
never why you can't just be happy and chill.
Life, bro. This is one of those things again. Life.
Yeah.
Any little small thing that you don't even know about can set anybody off.
You're right,
Yep.
and that's why.
Anything, and it can be the smallest thing. To you is small, but to them this is like, let's just say somebody been stepping on your shoe every day, every hour on and that gets to you. So if I come through and just meeting you and I step on your shoe, you sparking off at me, and I was like, yo, I'm really sorry, what you want me to do? Get on the ground and clean off your shoe? And like, yeah, because that'll give them satisfaction. Because somebody that doesn't do it, they was like, what, F your shoes. you know. So we don't know what's going on with you, but then you know that's where the talking comes out at. It's like I don't know what your problems is, I don't know what your issues are, but you also
You know what my issue is? You know what my issue is?
Oh, for real,
facts,
man.
bro.
You can't even
Yes,
do
sir.
nothing, man. Like you could bump a person inside the club or something inside a lounge and they get instantly mad. And you be like, hey man, just chill out. Let me buy you a drink. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
but then I was like, don't tell me to chill out. I don't need your drink. I got my own money. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm just trying to make the situation better. But you know, some people they don't want the situation to be better.
Yeah,
And you know, us as men, of course, that's gonna escalate also, especially you got that oil in you. So, you know, it's just different scenarios. And then,
ego,
you know, ego
Yeah.
also, that's a big one.
That's
ego,
So,
pride.
you
man,
know,
that's like the main one. That's part of the reason why men stress.
Yeah,
yeah. You
It's
know,
all an ego trip,
yeah, just an
really.
ego trip. But then, you know, how hard is it just to let your ego go? You know, that, and it's
You-
something like giving up your ego. This is what I learned: giving up your ego isn't as important as you think it is. Your ego is you. This is what I want. This is what. If I feel like you did anything wrong to me, you need to make it right to make me feel better. That's
yeah,
your
Yeah.
ego. Like, yo, bro, calm down. Like I said with the shoe scenario, you need to clean my shoe. Get down on your knee, bro. For what? Like, really, your shoe? Next 2-3 months, I guarantee you're not gonna be wearing those shoes every day.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
crazy part. That's the crazy part. So
Yeah.
you got to learn that about yourself. But a lot of dudes, you know, we don't go that deep into self and self reflection, and I think that's important too. So I don't know. I don't know. You just got to fix it. One person at a time. It's possible. I really do think it's possible.
Yeah, man, because once you let that ego take over, man, you ain't gonna live much longer.
Yeah, for real, for real, yeah, for
Yeah.
real.
Right.
Like for
Right.
real, you can let that ego go. Like, man, it's not even worth it, bro.
Yeah.
It's not that serious,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, because as we get older, I don't want to freaking pass away from stepping on somebody's shoe and they got pissed off. And I was like, bro, I got sent to the upper room from stepping on somebody's shoe,
Yeah,
stepping on somebody's shoe.
or bumping them
That's
and they
crazy.
spill their drink by mistake.
That's what I'm saying. How small is that? They're all like, yo, we gotta come back. He's like, okay, I apologize. I'm sorry. I really am.
Like I
But
said,
there's a difference from somebody that just doing it on purpose versus somebody that's like genuinely apologize. I didn't mean to.
yeah,
But once again, that's the difficult part. So I don't know.
because they be like, oh, you've been looking at me all night, bro.
Yeah.
I
What?
walked from the bathroom and I bumped you by mistake. How was I looking at you all day?
Yeah,
Like, come
but
on.
that same person might be going through a lot of stuff, and he might have mistaken you or something like that. And in those situations, there's no getting out of those situations, bro. There's no getting out of those situations. No matter how much you apologize or anything like that, we know there are those ones that
Yeah.
want the funk, and
That's
he's
all
like,
they do.
okay,
That's all
now,
they go to parties just to start problems. Like,
yep. And then now you want to say to the boo, like, okay, do I want to address this, or do I just want to walk away? Seem like a punk. That's the hard part. There's the hard part, and that's where the ego starts coming out. It's like, do you know who I am? I'm about that life. I'm about that life, bro. But I just don't want it because this is not worth it. And that's what I think. As you get older, you just know it's just not worth it. For
but
what?
you do have those times when you be like, bro, I'm just trying to end this peacefully. Cause
Yeah.
prime example, you remember when we was in the motorcycle club and the club was up there just constantly just talking about a club, and I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
how can we just end this peacefully, man? And he's like, nah, we can't do nothing peacefully. Nah, you walked away when I was trying to, like, bro, I was talking to you, but now
Yeah.
you up here, you constantly trying me. Like, look, I'm the calm one.
But I wanted it. That's what I said. I wanted it. I was like, oh, for real? Oh, for real? Y'all want this? Let's get at it. Let's get
I'm
at
the
it.
calm one. Like I'm the worst person to get pissed off. Like I'm actually the one that's trying to eliminate the issue. I got him over here like, nah, man, forget that.
They don't want to talk.
I'm like, look, bro, let's just. How can we just end this?
You did it the cordial way, and that's what I said. Sometimes you just grow, And back then, I didn't care. I didn't care about nothing. I was like, hey, he did it cordial. We try to do it diplomatically, but if you
Bro,
don't
and
want
the
to talk,
great, I was president to president, bro,
yeah,
talking to
Mm-hmm.
this guy, and he was like,
uh,
"Nah, no issues, we good." I was like, "All right,
mm-hmm,
cool." I said, "I just want to, I just want to end it."
yeah,
2 weeks later, bro,
still the issue.
still an issue.
Oh, okay, okay,
Ran up on another club they thought was us. And I'm like,
yeah,
bro. And then that president calling us.
yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking like? I talked to this guy already. Like, he said it was
Right,
cool. It
right.
was cool.
But there goes the ego all again, all over. There goes the ego.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we see them. We gonna do. I'm like, yo, y'all act like y'all the
Let's
only one
get
with
it.
guns. Like, come on, man. Like, we not
Yeah.
even on that. Like, I really just want to end this. Nah, not this dude. He's like, nah. They want to do it. Well, let's go up there. We gotta go up there now. What's up? I'm like, bro, just chill. Let me try to talk to
No.
this dude again, bro. I'm like, yo, let's just try to end this again, man. It took the big clubs to squash this club,
Yep.
bro.
Mhm.
The whole state clubs to squash this beef with this guy that we didn't even
Oh,
know.
man.
Like we didn't even know him, bro. That's the
And that's
crazy.
what I'm, but
Funny.
that's what I'm saying. The ego, his ego was like, yo, I do, and then I forgot why he was so, just hell bound towards us. But where I got upset was like we try to do it nicely, diplomatically, but after you start, talking, out of the side of your neck, that's where I got a problem. Now we need to go a different route.
Yeah,
Let's go out here. Let's go out back. Let's go out back for real.
yeah.
Nope.
And sometimes, dudes, that's sometimes what dudes need to do. And the only place that I've seen, stuff like this work where dudes, we box it out and then we go back and give each other a beer. It's like I don't think those times exist anymore. Like
Nah,
people like literally trying to end you.
yeah.
That's the thing.
Cause back in the day, you fight it out, you
Yeah,
squash it, and
yeah,
y'all playing the next day. Like,
we
hey,
good. Yeah,
let's go play football.
yeah, yeah, for real. Let's squabble. Let's squabble. But now they trying to make you non-existent anymore, and that's the crazy part. And at what point do you start appreciating life? And maybe that's the reason why we so stressed and all of this stuff is because a lot of people don't appreciate life, and that's why I think we need to take more vacations.
I'm telling you, man. Just
Everybody put your
Always.
phone in the box and we're gonna go out here to
just
the beach,
enjoy
we're gonna
life,
drink.
man. That's it. You just
Yeah,
gotta enjoy it, man. Take in the
yeah.
moments.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, bro, ain't nobody gonna take all of these beautiful moments away from me. The places that I've been, the experiences that I had, nobody gonna take that away from me, bro. So
Yeah,
I think that's part of it too. I was like, to give somebody that, I know I was young and crazy, you know, 10, 15 years ago, but now I'm like, I ain't letting you take this away from me, and I'm getting to enjoy it now.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
thank you. No, thank you.
I'm telling
you
you,
know,
man.
you know
Like
how long it took me to get here.
a lot of people don't realize, like, yo, we used to be the
Yeah,
YNs.
yeah,
Like we used to be the same YNs that's running around this place. It's like you
yeah.
just
And
don't
now
understand.
we gotta say you got a young blood.
You
You
grew
got a
up.
young blood. Yeah, you got it. I ain't nothing. Yeah, you right. Yeah, because we've been there, done that, bro. And you got it, bro. You win.
It's not even worth it, man. Like you got
Yeah,
it.
for real. And then we realize it's not worth it. And I won't. I will. If I go to the upper room, I will. If I die over stepping over somebody's shoe, I want somebody to say, "This. How did you do that?"
Yeah, right.
Because
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I'm
Uh,
sorry. I'm sorry. But the only thing I'm not going to do is clean off your shoe. I'll buy you some lick. I'll even give you the funky $60 to halfway pay for that little scrape that I did. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it, bro.
I mean,
oh
sometimes
man, that is
people just push you,
hilarious.
bro.
Yeah.
Like I will talk it out with you, but
Yeah.
hey, man, just stop pushing. Like I'm really trying here. Like I'm
Yeah.
really trying. I'm really trying to just end this stuff calmly, and we just go about our lives, man. But you ain't gonna
Yeah.
keep on poking the bear.
Ego.
I'm telling you, like
Ego.
leave it alone, man. I'm I'm telling
Yeah.
you. Let's just have a drink, take a couple of shots, and call it a day. Like,
Yeah.
like for real.
No disrespect, fam. No disrespect.
It's not even worth it.
Yeah, but can't talk to everybody like that.
Yeah,
No, you
crazy.
can't.
Can't.
All right, so just to recap, I think that we lose too many men to silence. So don't be a statistic. Woo, that was difficult.
Oh, yeah. A little tongue twister.
Yeah, for that. All right.
Oh,
If you're feeling the weight, what's one thing that keeps you grounded? If you actually feeling the weight, can't feel like that you can't talk to anybody. Name one thing that keeps you grounded. So just drop it in the comments. And see you guys next time.
Later.
take a nap.
Take a nap. Reach out.
He
Call somebody.
said take a nap.